What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumb ass. Like and subscribe. So, this saga continues. I've been listening, watching the ponies, watching the donkey unicorns react to what is happening. And what's happening is that the roles are reversed. I said this in the last video. Xbox is basically doing what Sony has always done. It's come through with the super dope, a super dope, showing, and everybody's happy about it. Sony did the exact opposite. I can see if Sony had a really good show and Microsoft had a really good, all right, everything's good. But Sony had a really bad show and Microsoft had a really good show. It's almost like they handed it to us, the Xbox community. Just like Xbox has handed the last generation of PlayStation, right? So there's a yin and a yang, there's an ebb and a flow to all these things. And I mean, I don't really believe in that type of stuff, but I always believe in the possibility. If Sony could pull, here's how you share games, I was like, well, okay, that happened. So don't be surprised when it happens to you again, especially with the way that Sony's going now. But I wanted to talk about the fanboys, specifically Dreamcast guy. Now, I usually don't talk about people, influencers, if you will, but I saw a couple of snippets of him watching the show, the Xbox show, and he was watching the Starfield Direct in particular. And he said, oh, this game is trash, hot garbage. I'm paraphrasing, but he was doing his best to try to, shite on the Starfield Direct. While everybody else on the whole planet of the internet and the world is liking Starfield. Everybody says, oh man, I don't know, I wasn't too sure about Starfield, and then I saw the Starfield Direct, and now I'm gonna buy that. And I keep hearing, oh man, look at that controller. And we saw this controller leaked, and then they talked about it, and they like, yeah, it's out, and go get it. I'm like looking at it, and I'm like, am I gonna buy this? Am I gonna buy this mother flower controller? I like the headset too, but I'm not paying 100 and whatever it is for the. I already have 2 of those headsets. They're just black and green, not white and pretty. So maybe I'll paint one of them. They're good headsets, I mean, but I don't have the wireless ones. I have the wired ones. So plus and minus. I don't need wireless. It's good for me because I usually use them for music. So and they have very good sound reproduction on those. I don't use the microphone on it though. But anyway, Dreamcast guy was trying his hardest to make the Xbox showcase, specifically the Starfield Direct, like garbage. Oh, I'm glad I don't want to play this. I'm glad you guys have this. This is good. Take it. Blah, blah, all this stuff. And I'm like, and it felt like he was acting, and he's not a good actor, if you know what I mean. That's what it felt like. Because when somebody's like true, and they're really giving you their emotions for real, then you know, like, especially if someone can act, well, that's different. Then they could be lying because they're a good actor. But Dreamcast guy's not a good actor. I don't think he's a good presenter in the first place because of just kind of his cadence. There's a bunch of different things that's wrong with how Dreamcast guy presents. I mean, he's better than me because I'm in my car right now because of reasons. I used to be in the studio with a green screen, but that's another time. And don't worry, we'll get to it. So I'm gonna still be doing. This is what I said. Tangent. I'm gonna always be doing videos, whether it's in my car, whether it's in the backyard, next to the canal with the alligator, where in the airport. I'll do it everywhere. So anyway, I think it's more about his personality more so than the fact that he's in a room with lights and stuff, you know what I mean? And a microphone. And that's important. You need personality, blah, 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 and language, grammars. You need personality to be successful in presenting things, right? So like if you look at before Will Smith canceled himself, although Cat Williams does have a conspiracy theory about that tangent, that it was all orchestrated to kind of lift Chris Rock up and like vilify Will Smith in order for him to come back again. You know what I mean? And he was like, there's always things moving around. There's always reasons and stuff. But anyway, you could probably find a clip out there where Cat Williams talking about the slap. But anyway, it's about presentation. Yeah, if you look at, I mean, I went to actors because they are kind of some of the best presenters, right? So I like to use Denzel Washington, but more so I like to use Morgan Freeman. He's old school, whatever. He's way older than me, obviously. He's probably in his 80s about now, right? I don't know. But every time, like I put a clip of Morgan Freeman saying something about something, I can't even remember what he said. Because honestly, it's just about how he says stuff. And if you agree with what he's saying, it's just plus, let's go. Let's go, Morgan Freeman. He is the voice of my narration of my life, basically. You know, come on, son. Who doesn't want Morgan Freeman? Hello, I'm Morgan Freeman, and this is the life of Electron Bandit. Sorry, that was a bad Morgan Freeman. But anyway, you get my point. So it's about the presentation, about the presenters. If you can't be a likable personality, point blank, regardless of what you're talking about, then you're gonna have issues. Now, he has more followers than I do, obviously. I will assume that he's been doing this longer than I have. YouTube, that is, because I've only been doing YouTube for almost 2 years now. Pretty much. Without, not really, you know, I've been doing podcasts longer than that, so I can talk, you know, whatever. But, you know, I don't have those years behind me in YouTube for the following. I'm still trying to build up subs and all that stuff. And what I do is I talk about stuff that I want to talk about rather than chasing headlines and stuff. Sometimes it lines up, you know, so I don't get a lot of views, which is fine. You know, that's not my goal. This is more cathartic for me. I know I said this before, but looking at Dreamcast Guy, I mean, I would give him the benefit of the doubt and say that it was a calculated move on his part and that he wanted to be contrarian to what everybody else would have, or his own emotions, in that everybody who's seen the game says everybody's seen that direct, they want to play the game, they like the game, let's go, right? Except for, oh no, it's Alex complaining about 30 frames and all that stuff, whatever. That's a whole nother thing. Maybe we'll talk about that. Not today though. And so I'm looking at Dreamcast Guy and I'm like, is he doing this on purpose so that a whole bunch of people could talk about him, blah, 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 watch his video? And I think that's what he did. Now, on the other hand, he could be just a dummy. He could be an idiot and just be like, I gotta put my blue flag in the ground and stake it. I'm a pony. I don't know. Maybe he thinks that the pony audience is so strong and so great that he has to stick on the blue side instead of looking at reading the room and saying, oh shoot, everybody's feeling this Starfield Direct. You know, everybody's ordering Xboxes now. Everybody's ordering the controller. It's like one game, boom, everything's the reverse now. Everything's changed. Sony stopped going down and Microsoft stopped going up. They're about to close the deal now because the FTC is like blah blah, crying and stuff. It's a whole bunch of crazy stuff happening. And so, you know, which one is it? You know, did he do it on purpose? Did he did he plan to be contrarian in order to get kind of views and be the zeitgeist or whatever of the fanboy war thing? Or are those his true feelings and emotions about what he was seeing? Or is it solved? Is it that he wishes that Starfield was bought by Sony back in the days? I mean, back whenever they tried to buy the exclusivity, and that it could be a PlayStation exclusive and he could brag about it. But here's another thing about that. If Sony would have secured that exclusive, right, Starfield, it would not be the game that we saw in a direct. It would have came out 2 years ago in 2021, I believe. That's when they wanted to launch it. And it would have been broken as hell, incomplete, not as good, and it just wouldn't be the same game. It would be not good. You know, maybe by now, 2 years later, it would be better, but by now, it would be on Xbox. It would be on everything. So the extra time that Microsoft afforded Bethesda and Todd Howard to fix the game, polish the game, squash all the bugs, you know, play test it for a year, basically. That's something that happened because Microsoft bought Bethesda, bought ZeniMax. Not because Sony did anything. Because if it was up to Sony, it would be a worse game. Think about it. Y'all ain't thinking about that. If Sony would have had their way, this game would be hot trash garbage, more so than it will be when it comes out September 6th. So I'm just saying. And Dreamcast guy, I don't know, whatever. He's a goofball. But anyway, let me know in the comments below. I watched the Irish Dirk Griggity and Sean, and they always have jokes about Dreamcast guy. It's pretty funny. I can't help but laugh. Even though it's cruel and you're making fun of somebody, it's like the Dozens, basically. It's pretty funny. So, I mean, at least we can laugh at him. At least he brings humor to the world in an indirect way. But anyway, let me know in the comments below. Y'all think Dreamcast is serious about his feelings for Starfield or what? Or is he just playing a role or whatever? Let me know. And I appreciate y'all all the time. And I'll talk to y'all on the next one. Till the wait.